Alright, welcome to this CompTIA Security Plus SY0-601 quiz. I thought this would be a good idea for us to do because a lot of us are studying for the Security Plus exam or we're planning to take it soon. I know I'm sitting for it in like 2 weeks, so I thought this would be a great idea for us to do. Just letting you guys know also, I do have an A+, a Network Plus, and an AWS certified cloud practitioner as well. So if you guys wanted me to make quizzes for those, I can do that. I can help you guys out. I don't mind doing it, and as a matter of fact, I would enjoy doing it greatly. So without further ado, let's get right into this video. So our first question, a user needs to implement multi-factor authentication on their Amazon Web Service account to ensure confidentiality. Which option best implements this? So we have username and password, username, password, and YubiKey, 2 unique pins, or retina scan and a fingerprint scan. So we know that multi-factor authentication is 2 different forms of authentication, and the only one that has that is username, password, and YubiKey. Alright, question 2. An employee at a company has recently received a phone call from supposed law enforcement telling them they need to pay $1,000 in gift cards or be sent to jail the next morning. Which social engineering tactic is being employed here? And we have consensus, authority, familiarity, or intimidation. And this is a pretty easy one. So we have them telling them they need to pay money and gift cards or they'll be sent to jail the next morning. This is a clear sign of intimidation. Third question, an attacker has embedded malicious scripting commands within a popular e-commerce website. Which attack best represents this situation? So we have phishing, XSS, SQL injection, or a race condition. So embedding malicious scripting commands within a popular e-commerce website, this is a clear sign of cross-site scripting, or XSS. Alright, question 4. The CEO of an insurance company has received an email stating that if a specific employee is not fired, all of the files on their server will be encrypted. What attack best describes this scenario? Now, this is kind of a trick question that I put in here because it says that all the files on a server will be encrypted, and if you're not careful, a lot of people will choose ransomware. But the best answer for this one is going to be a logic bomb because a specific condition needs to be met in order for this attack to ensue. So, logic bomb is the correct answer. Now, question 5. A DevOps engineer needs to ensure that a program has no invalid, malformed, or unexpected inputs in it. Which would be the best solution to implement in this scenario? And we have arbitrary code execution, buffer overflow, stress testing, or fuzzing. So we know that fuzzing is going to be used to test for no invalid, malformed, or unexpected inputs within an application and code. So fuzzing is going to be our best answer. Question 6. An attacker has figured out a way to move from a user's virtual machine onto their host operating system. What is this attacker implementing? So we have SDLC, directory transversal, VM escape, or VM sprawl. Now, the best answer for this one, if you're not familiar, you might think it might be VM sprawl, but we know that VM sprawl refers to the buildup of too many virtual machines and them just getting lost and just building up. The best answer for this one is going to be VM escape because you're escaping the VM and onto the host operating system. Question 7. A user needs to digitally sign and encrypt an email message to ensure integrity and confidentiality, as it is being sent to one of their manufacturers. Which would best support this need? So we have NGFW, IPS, SMIME, or CASP. So the best one to ensure integrity and confidentiality, we know that SMIME is used to encrypt email for integrity and confidentiality. So the best answer here would be SMIME. We would not use a next generation firewall. We would not use an intrusion detection, an intrusion prevention system, and we would not use a cloud access security broker either. So we would go with SMIME. Alright, question 8. a cybersecurity analyst needs to run malicious malware in a secure and an isolated environment. Which would be best for this situation? So we have Sandbox, Nessus, Nmap, or Cuckoo. Now, a lot of people would also probably think that this would be a sandbox, because we know that as a sandbox, it's an isolated environment away from everything else. But Cuckoo would actually be the best answer for this one, because Cuckoo is specifically designed to run malware and malicious code and malicious programs to analyze them. A sandbox isn't specifically made for that, and we put the best for this situation. So Cuckoo would be the best for this situation. Alright, question 9. A malicious user is trying to crack the password of a MySQL server using a list of common passwords and phrases. Which of the following would this attack refer to? So we have credential stuffing, password spraying, brute force, or a dictionary attack. So we stated up here that he's trying to crack the password of an SQL server using a list of common passwords and phrases. So we know specifically a list of common passwords and phrases. This would directly refer to a dictionary attack. It would not do password spraying, it would not be a brute force, and it would not be credential stuffing, because we're not specifically guessing, so it would be a dictionary attack. Now, question 10. With GDPR, who would be the most responsible for protection and privacy of website user rights? So we have the data processor, the data controller, the data owner, and the data protection officer. Now, the best answer for this one, saying who would be the most responsible for the protection of privacy and website user rights, would be the data owner, because the data owner is the most responsible. Alright, halfway there. Question 11. What is the best way to ensure a rat does not have access to a computer on startup? So we have to use TPM, create a backup of your OS and reinstall it, implement trusted boot, or edit applications that are allowed to run on startup through msconfig. Now, the best answer for this one is going to be implement trusted boot. So the answer is implement trusted boot because we only want files that are checked in, that are meant to run within the operating system. We do not want any code that is not supposed to be there within the operating system. So implement trusted boot would be the right answer. Alright, question 12. A company would like to allow employees to choose their own devices from a list they've provided, and also allow them to personally add their own apps to them as well. Which best fits this description? We have MDM, COPE, BYOD, and FDE. So here is saying that a list that they've provided, and also allow them to personally add their own apps to them as well. So we know that BYOD, you have to bring your own device, and MDM, that is just management for mobile devices within a corporate network, and this is full disk encryption, so this is just doesn't pertain to any of this. So the best answer is going to be COPE, corporate owned, personally enabled. Alright, question 13. Employees should only be able to access the corporate webpage while they're inside the company's building. Which term best represents this implementation? So we have certificates, role-based access controls, geotagging, and time of day restrictions. So we know that geotagging is going to be the best answer because they would need to be in a specific area in order to access the corporate webpage, and if they go out of that specific area, then they will no longer have access. Question 14. A sales company has hired a team of cybersecurity and analysts to best help them patch vulnerability systems in their infrastructure. Which of the following would be best to establish between organizations to define the responsibilities of each party, outline the key deliverables, and include monetary penalties for breaches to manage third-party risks? So we have MOU, SLA, BPA, and ARO. So we have the statement here, best to establish between organizations to define the responsibilities of each party. The best answer here for that one would be MOU, or Memorandum of Understanding. Alright, question 15. Users at a local Starbucks are experiencing intermittent internet connections while trying to browse the web, and the only other available wireless network is named Starbucks Guest Backup. Which of the following is the attacker trying to implement? So we have ARP poisoning, evil twin, session replay, and SQL injection. So if they're experiencing internet connections, they're probably being de-authenticated. And if their name is Starbucks Guest Backup, which is probably set up by a hacker with a rogue access point, or rather an evil twin, this would be the best answer. Alright, users that are located in Europe are concerned about how their data will be used. What privacy and security law should they refer to on a public-facing social media website? So we have HAVA, PCI DSS, HIPAA, or GDPR. So the only one that really refers to privacy laws within Europe specifically is going to be GDPR. Question 17. A user needs to ensure the integrity of a file they have downloaded from an unknown source to make sure that it has not been tampered with. Which would best ensure this? So the best way to ensure that a file you've downloaded is integrable or has integrity to the same file that is the correct one, or how best do I say this? The base file would be hash, because you can compare the hashes, and if the hashes are correct, then it is the correct file, and if not, then it has been tampered with. Because if you tamper with a file that has a specific hash, even just a little bit, the hash will drastically be changed. So we're gonna go hash. What would you use to add integrity and confidentiality to an IP packet? So we have SNMP version 3, NGFW, AH, and ESP. So the only one that adds integrity and confidentiality, because AH, or authentication header, only adds integrity, telling you who it came from and where it came from. But integrity and confidentiality would be ESP, encapsulating security payload. So, question 19. What type of security control would a sign that says trespassers will be fined $10,000 be? So we have deterrent, corrective, operational, and administrative. So when we're referring to a sign that's saying trespassers will be fined $10,000, this is going to try to prevent someone from doing something before it even happens. So the best answer for this one is going to be deterrent, deterring someone from doing something. So question 20, our last question. Microsoft recently suffered a database breach. Which of the following sources would best reveal if the company's information is for sale? So we have RAID forums, OSINT, vulnerability database, and the dark web. So we know that there are a lot of vendors and a lot of sales pages on a specific way to access the internet, and the only one for that that has like specific selling points would be the dark web. So that would be the best answer for this one. Alright, and that is 100 out of 100. I'm going to leave this quiz under the description so you guys can take it whenever you feel like, or if you feel like you need to review some things that you didn't understand, if there's some terms you didn't understand, some acronyms that you didn't understand. I will leave that in the description for you guys, and I will also be making more quizzes for you guys, probably better formatted as well. I just wanted to get this one out quick for you guys so you can get some practice in. And also, thank you for watching the video. If you liked it and you got some value out of it, please help me out by liking and subscribing. That would be great. And I hope you guys have a great one, and I will see you guys next time.